Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, or really wherever this may find you on March 4th. I know some of our This Morning listeners get caught up every day on episodes when they come out at 8 a.m. And sometimes, like my girlfriend Hannah in California or Ainsley in Boston, they catch up on a few episodes at a time. So wherever this may find you, you might still be in February, and that's all good. Today is March 4th, and it is also a direction. So if you zoom out and you say March 4th, it's the date, of course. It's where we are on the calendar. But it's also a direction. It's a vibe. March 4th. Go forward. March 4th. March 4th into this day in life. And see what may become of you. March forth into what is next in this world. I don't know. Feels very Walt Whitman. It's a rainy, gray day where I am. I was just chatting with my friend Leah, though. And she's in an area where there's a ton of snow. And she's like, I just want it to go away. So I really have no complaints. I don't have any complaints in my life in general at this stage. But I don't have any complaints about the gray. It is one, though, that I like to send love to any construction worker listening, any city worker listening to This Morning, all of my delivery truck drivers like Josh out there, Amazon drivers. It's those days you're like, ugh. Anyone else out there trying to battle their goal of getting 10,000 steps a day outside. That's where I'm at. I'm getting soaked this week. My headphones are like, help me. How are you? We got some things to get into. We're going to talk about Ticketmaster and Live Nation and what that says for the cost of your tickets these days. We've got major concerts coming to Cincinnati, sporting events, all of that. Something started today that may help you in the future when it comes to the things that you love to do in the entertainment world. So I'll get to that. We'll also end the episode talking about solo tips. Solo tips. I often say solo because solo is different than single. Everyone can participate in a solo-led life from, time to time. It doesn't necessarily mean you're single. It just means that you want to do self-led things that make you feel independent. I'll get to that in a hot sec. But first, you know how we do this, the routine every day. I like to ask how you're doing, what's going on in your world, how are we feeling, what are we thinking about, what are we writing about? What are we listening to outside of this show? Audio, I think, is one of the biggest, if not fastest growing platforms here on this side of things. I love listening. I'm a listener. I love music. I love spoken word, all of it. If there's a podcast outside of mine that you love, I'm always looking for things to listen to on those 10,000 steps. One of my favorites, though, is voice notes. And it may sound very odd to you to leave me a voice note, but I would encourage you to search me on Instagram at the Tiff, 2 F's, Potter, like the wizard. That's a good place to go to get the solo tips as well that we'll get into. Leave me a voice note. It's kind of like calling me if you had done so in my previous life when I worked in radio. I check them all the time. I love voice notes. I think they are the way of friendships in the future. So leave me a voice note if you so choose. Speaking of radio, I woke up in the early hours of this morning dreaming about being back on the air at Kiss 107.1. Shout out to my former home, my former family. John's still there, holding it down. My friend Bobby's still there. My girl Sarah Elise still at iHeart. Austin, all of them. Still love them, miss them. But I did have a dream about it. I had a dream that they brought me back for like a day. I don't know what that says. And we had gone into dreams before on my former show. We haven't done so on this one yet. But dreams are so weird. It depends on where you are in life, but I feel like, I don't know, like, are they a sign of something, or are they just where your subconscious brain is at? I had a dream expert on the show one time. I kind of forgot what they had said. Maybe I'll track them down again, but I don't know. Keep track of your dreams. I won't waste too much of your time on that one. Okay, let's chit-chat about Live Nation. So if you remember me talking about this, I don't know, a year, 2 years ago, it all really blew up because of the Taylor Swift ticket crisis. crisis, I believe, in 2022. You remember that? Crisis. And because of that, the DOJ, Department of Justice, said, what's going on here? Ticketmaster and Live Nation are the biggest ticket conglomerate in America. And the DOJ is fighting to say that this is too much of a monopoly. The DOJ, along with 39 states, claiming that the world's largest ticket provider has gone up in prices of concerts and sports and theater. Not just like, hey, Cardi B is coming this month, but also the Bengals, also Aronoff, things of that nature. So the DOJ is saying that this merger from back in 2010 created an illegal monopoly that crushes competition and then inflates the prices. So that kicked off in New York yesterday. Live Nation's CEO, Michael Rapino, is supposed to speak, as well as Drake's manager. I'll see what happens. I'll keep my eye on it for you. But again, this all came to light, really, when Ticketmaster just crashed during the Taylor Swift Eras Tour, and just shed light on how incredibly expensive it is to enjoy your favorite artists. It's wild. Wild. You can't go to a concert now for less than $450. My Stevie Nicks tickets were the last set of tickets that I bought at Heritage, and I wasn't up close. It was about $500 for my tickets, and that was because I bought them, waited in the line, did all that. Didn't even see what a resale value on those would be. So I'll keep you posted. I was thinking of you this morning, especially as, I'm sure Bengals tickets are coming out on sale, if not already. Speaking of the Bengals, construction is underway of our stadium upgrades. Those should be available to us, I believe, as early as the start of the season. We'll see. Okay, let's talk about solo. So I've coined this phrase. I might not be the only one that uses it, but I often used to say, I'm solo, not single. Now, if you're not familiar with my story here, we're going to talk about a few tips that you can use to lead a solo-led life. And that really just means having some independence for yourself. In a world where everything is at our fingertips and can come to us, what are you doing to go get life? What are you doing to go after life? Okay, all those things that come to us, food, groceries, products, goods, services, entertainment, you technically don't have to leave your house. It's a great thing. Work, right? I'm doing this show live from my bedroom. That's the This Morning headquarters. And that is all great, but a lot of life happens when you put your phone down and you do the uncomfortable thing, which is leaving your house and maybe doing that on your own and not waiting around for someone else. A concept that isn't new or foreign to people like my dad, right, that didn't grow up with cell phones and such, and drove across the country using a paper map. Then you have us millennial kids that grew up knocking on doors of our friends' houses to see if they wanted to hang out. Let me repeat that one again. Go back in your brain. Knocking on your neighbors' or friends' doors, being like, hey, are you available to hang out? Imagine calling the landline of the household where your friend lives and being like, hey, Mrs. Looney, I'm looking for Casey. And just chatting and making a plan, right? Us millennials grew up with that. Now, although we're all familiar with the convenience, we all take advantage of it, we all appreciate it, the more we go towards technology, the less human we become and the less good we get at just naturally being a human. And that's okay, but I'm here to make you aware of how to flex your human skills. And for me, and what I'm an expert in, is living a solo-led life, which is just, like I said, another word for independence. So, I forget, why did I even bring this up? Oh, yeah. Neurodivergent. Hello. I posted a video yesterday, in partnership with my gal Abby from Everything Cincy, a great follow if you're looking for all the things, including solo-led things to do in our city. Cincy Girls Who is another great account for that. A lot of these are female forward, and I'll explain why here in a second. But I posted up a video about something solo you can do here in Cincinnati. A really low entryway to get in. And that's the art museum. Art After Dark at the Cincy Art Museum happens the last Friday of every month. I recommend taking an Uber up to the art museum, which, by the way, is free every day of the week, every time you go. But Art After Dark, they do open up some of the paid exhibits, and it's really such a good time. There's a DJ, there's music, there's a lot of first dates, there's a lot of group friend meetups, and there are a lot of people who are solo. And I only know that because I'm an expert at spotting them now. Just like you can spot someone who's out having a first date in public. I can spot someone that's there by themselves. And I do it in a moment of solidarity, not in judgment. So this idea of solo, not single came when I moved to Cincinnati 7 years ago, if you're not familiar with my story. I'm originally from the Boston area. I came here, worked for iHeartRadio for, just about 7 years up until this past October. When I did that, I was in a long-distance relationship, and I was in that long-distance relationship for 3 years. So while I was basically living two lives at the time, the one that I was creating here in Cincy, I couldn't just sit in my house. My boyfriend wasn't here. I couldn't just sit around and do nothing. I had to build a life. I had to create something of value for myself here. And so I did a lot of things solo, not single. I would go out and do things. I'd come back. I'd FaceTime him. We'd talk about it. But it was then that I realized, wait a minute. I think this is just another word for self-led life, like self-independence, which is so valuable. Even if you are in a relationship, think about how much more grounded you become when you do the thing that's uncomfortable, which might be going to an event by yourself. Think of how much more empowered you become when you do that. You start, it's not a natural thing in 2026. That's what I want you to be okay with. That's okay. This is a muscle, a habit that you have to get familiar with and flex. And so here are some of my top tips. Number 1, you have to leave the house. I know. You got to do it. For example, this coming Friday, set a date in your calendar. I believe it's March 27th, the last Friday of the month. Just set it in your calendar that you're going to go to Art After Dark. And the whole explanation of it is on my page, like I said, at the Tiff, 2Fs Potter like the wizard. You'll get a whole vibe. I'm out here trying all the things solo so that you don't have to overthink it, okay? Number 1, you've got to leave the house. Number 2, start small. Start small. Any amount counts. A dinner by yourself. A trip to the movies. A very low barrier to entryway. To try it. I went to Showcase Cinema probably every Sunday by myself when that relationship I had mentioned earlier ended about 4 years ago. I was lost, not to go too deep down that rabbit hole, but, some big doors in my life had closed. And thank God I had built somewhat of a rubric and a blueprint on how to live life on my own here in Cincinnati. Didn't mean it wasn't hard, but I'm really glad I did that for myself. So start small, something low entry, something that feels good, right? Okay, that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, and that's where we're going to leave it here today, is any amount counts, right? Any amount counts, but lower your expectation, okay? When you have such high expectations and you planned something out to every single detail, you are giving yourself a false sense of control. And that's okay. I'm just here to remind you of it. But if you can loose the reins just a little bit, what's going to happen is you're going to leave some room for spontaneity. And spontaneity is where the magic happens. Okay? So to revisit. 1, leave the house. Set a date in your calendar. Maybe it's art after dark or something else that feels low barrier to entry. Number 2, start small. Any amount counts. Even if you get somewhere and you're like, I don't like this, you can leave. I'm going to be there in spirit cheering you on, but I'm definitely not going to be there judging you. And the third one is, what was my third tip? My neurodivergent brain just got distracted by a text message. What was it? Oh, lower your expectations, loosen the grip, allow room for spontaneity, okay? Okay. We'll leave it there for now. I did mention that a lot of the groups and things that are available in Cincinnati are very women-led. Cincy Girls Who, a really good one to search. They do walks a lot, like just walks around Cincinnati and other events. That's a great place to get started. Everything Cincy, another great place to find solo activities. I believe that these things are women-led because women really run and own and lean into community. We lean into these things. These things feel more natural to us. And so if you're a guy listening, like my friend Josh or Bobby, don't be afraid to ask maybe some of the women in your life for tips. Not that I think you need them, but don't be surprised if there are a lot of women doing these things. It does not mean that men are not included. You're welcomed. You're loved. We want you there. But this is something sometimes it feels a little bit more natural to a female. With the exception of overseas travel, I know a lot more men that have gone overseas by themselves than I do know women that have done that. Okay, anything that resonates with you, please share with me. And if you are called to do so, share this episode with a friend. Or really, you can just share this conversation with a friend. Bring it up at your next dinner or beverage. Hey, I heard about this one thing on This Morning with Tiff Potter. Have you listened? If you and I aren't connected and you don't know, this show comes out every day at 8 a.m. I hope you're off to a good start. Thank you so much for stopping by.